This is Alton Emery with Fire Shield and Shelter. Here shooting another video. Our last video, we talked about the top 10 things that I would secure in case of a power outage. On this video, we're going to talk about the top 10 things I would buy tomorrow on a budget if I had to start over again. So let's get into it. So number one would be water. You have to have good, clean water to drink to stay hydrated. So some main things I would be looking at were storing away gallon jugs of water because they're cheap, and flats of water, especially water like this core water. This core water is pH balanced and has minerals and electrolytes in it. So you know you can put some of that stuff back in your body as you're sweating. The next thing would be these Life Straws. These Life Straws aren't that expensive. This is made by Life Straw, and you can filter out 99.9% of all bacteria, and it cleans your water really well. So you could drink water from a stream with this and be safe. So this is another thing I would put away. They're not very expensive, about $20 to $30 a piece. You get a couple of them and you should be good. All right, so on to number two. Number two is fire. Fire equals heat, warmth, and morale. And there's a lot of options. I like having quite a few options. So one of my favorites are these electric lighters. They're rechargeable and they hold the charge for quite a while. They put out a dependable flame. It's more like a plasma flame, and they're simple to use and come in a little waterproof case. You can pick these up on Amazon fairly cheap. They're like $8 to $10. I really like those. Next would be these longer lighters, more like a barbecue style lighter. You can get up into things like this lantern and light it, or reach down into candles. This is rechargeable as well, and it's the same principle. It's just like a plasma arc, and it lasts quite a while. I've been using this one for a while, and I've only lost one bar of 4 on the little charge indicator. Next would be your basic long stick lighters. I really like these. I like to keep quite a few of these around. See, I got a couple in a pack here. They last a long time. You can light many, many things before you run out of fluid with these. These are great to have, and you know they're gonna work. Next would be one of these magnesium blocks with the ferro rod. I really like having these around as well. I actually keep one of these in my hunting pack, and I've usually always got a few of these floating around. I really like these because magnesium is actually really flammable. So you can take some of this magnesium off into a pile underneath your chips, or in a small pile of chip that you're gonna light on fire, and then you can just strike it with this blade and you can create an arc. So these are great to have and they're cheap. Okay, so number 3 on the list would be light. Light is invaluable. When the power is out, everything's dark, you need to be able to see. So one of the top things on my list for a light would be candles. Candles are cheap. You can buy them almost anywhere. They're easy to store, and they're there when you need them. You light up some candles and you can put some light in most of your home. Next would be flashlights. Flashlights are extremely valuable. Again, they're not very expensive. Flashlights have gotten very cheap. I think this flashlight here, it's a tactical style LED light, rechargeable. I bought it on Amazon for like $20. $20 to $30 gets you a pretty decent flashlight. It's been very dependable. I've had this flashlight for over a year, and I use it regular. This is a very nice light. And also, if you don't want to use the rechargeable option, you can replace the rechargeable battery in it with a battery holder, and it'll run standard AAA batteries. So this is a great option. Next would be a headlamp. I really like headlamps. They're kind of my go-to because you can run hands-free with them. I really like this style. This style of headlamp, it's got multiple modes, but it's got a green mode, which on green mode, it's lowly detectable at night. So you can run incognito. I really like this. That again uses rechargeable batteries, so I can charge that back up. And then another option is a battery powered lantern. This is a stream light. These are a little more expensive, but you can get much cheaper options. So as far as the budget goes, they make battery powered lanterns that are $10 to $15 a piece. So that's a great option, but you got to keep extra batteries for those around. Next would be an oil lamp. These are also extremely cheap. So any one of these options or paired together would be great. I think a flashlight is a must-have, and the candles are definitely a must-have. But an oil lantern is a great alternative to candles. I really like these because they're not very expensive, $10 to $15 a piece. And you can buy oil fairly cheap. You can get a quart of oil for $10 to $15. And then you can buy the wicks by the foot for $4 to $5 a roll. I believe it's a 36-foot roll of wick, and it was like $5.99. So all those are great options. You can mix and match. You can do this fairly cheap. A pack of candles like this is like $5 to $7. Most everything onto this table is $10 to $20 or under. So great for the budget and a good thing to have when the power goes out. Number 4 would be backup power. When everything goes dark, you need at least a small amount of backup power to be able to support things like your rechargeable flashlights, cell phones, handheld radios, and anything else you might want to run. So a good option is the small power station. It's a 300 watt-hour power station. You can get these on Amazon, a little smaller than this with a solar panel for under $100. They make even smaller portable units for $40 to $50. I've even seen some as low as $20. But a small amount of backup power can be big when the power goes out. And just with what I have charging here on the table, some small CR123s for my flashlight on my firearm, I have this rechargeable lighter, and I have this flashlight recharging. That's only pulling 4 to 5 watts. So a unit like this is going to be good for 60 to 100 hours recharging things, and even possibly running my emergency radio. So it gives me good backup power, and I can hook the solar panel into it and have it charge back up in a couple of hours. It's a great option and a must-have. All right, number 5 is food. And when you're thinking about long-term power outages or power down situations, you want to think about food storage. And the best kind of emergency food are dry goods, like these bags of beans and these bags of rice. And boxes of Top Ramen and things like granola bars work well too. So when you're thinking about food for survival, you want to think about beans and rice are cheap and I can feed my family for a while. Things like Top Ramen are instant. And same thing with these granola bars. So I can pull these out of the box and eat them. I have food instantly and I have energy. I can take these, soak them in some hot water, and I can eat that almost immediately. So these are great options while you're taking things like these beans and soaking them in water overnight to get ready to prepare them for the next day. Beans and rice will store on the shelf for a year to 2 years easy, sometimes longer. They have great shelf life if you have a good way to store them in a dry, cool area. Top Ramen will store a long time. It's a good thing to keep around. I like to keep 3 or 4 cases of this at all times, and you can cycle it out. Let your family eat some, and then you can move new in, keep it fresh. Granola bars are one of my favorite, especially like these Nature Valley. These have chocolate, so they have a small amount of sugar. They got salt, nuts, and a lot of things with nutrients and some energy. So if you need something immediately or something to throw in a pack or in your pocket, these work great. All the firearms on the table have been cleared. Nothing in the chambers, as you can see, and the action's open here. So they're all cleared and safe. Number 6 is security. Now what does security on a budget look like? Well, it could look like one of these 2 shotguns I got on the table or this 22. So first up is a 12 gauge shotgun. This is a single shot. It's really inexpensive. I think I paid just over $100 for this. I did add the stock later, but here's a similar one. This is a 20 gauge, and this is the original stock on it. I think this gun was $120. You have a wide variety of type of shotgun shells, so you have a lot of different uses. You could use double-aught buck to take down big game. You can use bird shot for small game like rabbits and birds. And you can also use this for home security. Shotguns are a great option, very inexpensive, and there's a lot of styles out there. You have everything from these single shots to pump actions and semi-automatics. Even pump action shotguns aren't very expensive, so you can do that for under a couple $100. Next would be this 22. 22 is a great gun to have around. Ammunition's very cheap. It's small, you can store it. You can store thousands of rounds of 22 ammunition in a single ammo box. And you can take down small game and even use this for home security. But when it comes down to security, I would prefer one of these shotguns, specifically a 12 gauge. Number 7 on my list would be first aid. Everybody needs some basic first aid in their home, especially in a grid down situation. So on a budget, these are the first things I would buy. Hydrogen peroxide, and alcohol for sterilization and wound cleaning, and then a basic first aid kit. You can go to Walmart and pick up a basic first aid kit or order something like this IFAK. I really like this. I just recently purchased this, a military grade IFAK kit. So this has rubber gloves, bandages, a chest seal kit. It has splint, and it has quite a few other small odds and ends like Q-tips, safety pins, and antiseptic wipes and things like that with some rubber gloves. So this is a great option, but really any basic first aid kit's good. And having some things around for headaches and aches and pains like ibuprofen and Tylenol is also a good, and that's all fairly inexpensive. These IFAK kits you can pick up for $30. I believe you can buy a basic first aid kit at Walmart for $20, and this stuff's really cheap. You can buy these for a few dollars a piece, so good things to have on a budget. So number 8 would be shelter, and in a grid down situation, you need warmth, especially in the wintertime. So when we think about warmth, we think about heat. And to heat an area like our large homes is impossible to do in a grid down unless you have some serious backup energy. So a better option is to move into a small room and possibly use something like this buddy heater. These little buddy heaters like this, they can heat a small area like a 10 by 10 bedroom pretty easily. And you keep enough propane tanks on hand, you don't have to worry about running out for a while. It's fairly economical. And then I would also keep some tape around because you can tape up seams around the room, and you can also tape plastic over the windows. That is a good option for securing the room and keeping some heat in. It acts as a form of insulation. Another option is to keep a small tent, big enough for your family. Tents trap heat, and if you keep enough blankets around, you can stay plenty warm for sleeping at night. Do be mindful though when you're using these buddy heaters that they are propane and they can pull oxygen from the room. These do have an oxygen safety sensor, but make sure the heater that you're using does, and you're using it in a safe manner according to the manufacturer specifications. Number 9 is communication. And when the grid goes down and you got no power, and your cell phone is down, cell service is out, you need to know what's going on. And a good option is one of these emergency radios. They're not very expensive. You can pick some of these up now for under $30. I've seen them for $20 on sale on Amazon. And there are a lot of options out there for brands. Voyager makes a really good one. And I like the ones that have extra options like this emergency flashlight. And then it has an emergency reading light, a built-in solar charger, built-in rechargeable battery. It takes batteries as well. And it has this hand crank, which you can crank it and charge it. So in a situation where you don't have a way to charge it, you can recharge it. These are a good option. Make sure that you have a shortwave radio, the NOAA emergency, and it picks up your weather bands. That way you can keep in the know when the power's out. Number 10 would be cooking, and when the power's out, you need a way to heat up your food. So some good options are small single burner propane stoves or butane stoves, or something like this double burner Coleman camp stove. These things work really well. I've used this thing quite a bit. It works good for heating up your food without power. You just need to keep plenty of propane around for it. Other options are back patio barbecues and griddles. A lot of people like to use those for cookouts. They work great when the power's out. Just make sure you keep plenty of propane on hand. Another option is to build a fire and just cook over the fire. We went over fire starters. It would be a great opportunity to use those. Those are the top 10 budget-minded things I would buy for the beginning prepper. It's a good way to get started, and most of it's pretty easy on the budget, especially if you focus on the things like food, water, fire starter, and light. It's a good way to begin. There's no reason to not start prepping today. Thanks for watching. If this is the kind of thinking that speaks to you, hit subscribe. I'll be covering gear, prepping systems, homestead tactics, and off-grid survival. Don't get caught off guard. Let's get ready together.